Hi class, thanks for joining again. In this video, it's going to be really short as you can tell, and we are going to be continuing the attendance tracker application. So here it is. Enter the date, that format. If Bill was there, Joe, and Nancy, we are going to manually type yes, no, and date. Then we put in the date, we hit submit, and it goes into our database. So typing yes or no, a little humbug, and we don't want to do that. So in this video, we'll be learning how to have drop-down list instead of manually typing it. So we're going to be using a new tag here. Hope you guys remember the tag. And go ahead and just Google W3 drop-down list. So usually, if you don't remember how to do a certain tag, go ahead and just put W3 right in the beginning and type in what you have to say, and normally it'll take you to the right one. Now here is the first one. It says w3.css. We're not doing CSS right now. We're going to just stick to the basic pure HTML select tag. So here is the select tag. Let's try it ourselves, and this is what we need. This is great. This is good. And let's go back here. I'm gonna copy this. Here's a definition and usage. The select element is used to create a drop-down list. Browser support is all good. And here are some attributes. Now remember, attributes are very important because they allow you to, like for the input tag, what type is your input gonna be? Text, submit button. So what kind of attributes does the select tag have? Let's find out. It has autofocus disabled. It has a form. It defines one or more forms in which it belongs to. And here is something we're very familiar with, the name. Remember in the input tag, it has the type, like a text, and the name, because if we're in a form and we want to figure out when we're inside PHP and we do like the whole get or post, then we need to know what the name of the specific tag so we can retrieve its value, right? So the name is something we're familiar with. So these are the attributes for the select tag, and name is what we're going to be using. So really quickly again, here's a select tag in the option, and we want to put the name attribute here in the select tag. Right here in the select tag. Not the option tag, the select tag, because these are its attributes. It doesn't talk about the options attributes. But here, as we can see, the option has an attribute value. Kind of like the input tag, but it's in a different tag for this one. And the value is Volvo, and this is what the user's going to see. So here in their example, they didn't put the name. I guess because they're not dealing with forms and they're just like want to really simply just show it. But when we deal with forms, you definitely have to put the name here, so that way if the name's here, then it knows it's going to get the value from whatever is selected. All right, let's go back to our application and let's create for the purposes of this demo, instead of going into our current code and pasting in the select tag and then working that way, no, we don't want to do that. So we want to just create a new practice page so we can build upon our template before we go ahead and paste the code that we need. Delete my PHP, not doing PHP yet. Paste what I got from the website. Format my code so I can read it better. And let's quickly just run this, see what we got. Yep. We got a drop down list. Now, in the select, remember, we want to put a name. And what was the name when we were entering inputs? Here, that was date, and this is status. So we're going to name this status. I'm not going to do a status array just yet. And here, what kind of options for attendance? If they're present, late, no show, and we're going to put other. We got to change the value because we don't want it to say Volvo and all these cars. So late, no, and then other. Great. So now what do we have? We have a select tag with option tags. We put the name attribute so that we know what to call, what to reference to later. And we have values, correct values that match what the user would be clicking. Now, what are we forgetting? It starts with an F. We're missing our form tag. Remember, form. Paste it right in there. Format the code. And now we gotta add some attributes into the form. And we should all be familiar already, but we definitely need a method. And we're gonna be using a get. Should use a post sometimes, but since we're doing this tutorial, I want you guys to see the URL so that we know that the value is there and we're doing things correctly. And eventually, when you're comfortable with that, then go ahead and change it up to a post and then test again. So there's a lot of testing in software development. And the form action. And the action, I'm gonna leave it blank because remember, if we leave it blank, it's just gonna default to its current page. Now, one more thing we're missing. We need a way for it to submit. So we need an input tag with a submit type. And the value could just be click here for now. Alright, let's right click, run the file, and let's do other. Click here. You guys see that? Present, late. Yeah, it's changing. Pretty cool. Alright, let's delete this comment up there and let's open up some PHP coding. And what are we going to do? We are going to echo the status. So echo get. Remember, it's the smooth brackets, not the curly brackets. So don't do that. Don't do curly brackets. Use the smooth brackets. And the name of the select, which will string us the value of whatever was selected, and status. Alright. Run the code. Oh, we got the whole undefined index status thing. Present. That's what I selected. Present. Late. Other. Cool. So how do we get rid of the whole undefined index thing? Do you guys remember? We just have to check if it's empty. And if I did this on, so it's going to its current page. If I did it on another page, then I would just have to do it on another page. So if this is empty, oh, not empty, empty, that is empty, then do something there. And if it's not empty, then we can echo it. Semicolon, gets rid of the red line, and there we go. I mean, we could put an exclamation point there, but if it's empty, not show anything. And if it's not empty, we're gonna actually display something. So right click again to run the code, and we don't have the whole undefined index thing because it caught it. You could probably do a try catch too, but right. So it sends it. Cool. Alright. So that's working. Now another thing, it's what if, because remember here we're putting this in a loop and we're basically looping this input and the type again and again and again and again, right? And then we ran into a problem where we had to create an array so that we can index, okay, what status is it talking about? The first one, second, last. So that's what we were missing. The student ID, yeah. So what if we had more of the same thing? What would we be doing? Like if I copy and paste this, I put a break tag so we can space it out. So if we have 2 and then we run it, so if we have 2, what are we going to see when we do, this one is late and this one's present. So we have multiple statuses again, but oh, excuse me, a little sniffly. It's only echoing out the last one. So the last value in the array. What about the first one? So same thing. We need to make sure this is an array type. And then here, we can do the first value. Then we can do, second value. And then I will just echo, have a little break tag there so we can see the difference. And now, I'm not going to right click and run now. I'm just going to refresh the page. Let's go back to the beginning. And now here, so present, present. If I click there, both of them are present. And both of them echo present. So if I do one or the other, late present, then it's late and present. Great. So there we go. We got our little drop down list, and we still have to use arrays for our inputs because we're reusing the same name. And now we need to put it inside here. And then it'll just be a lot easier. So that's your job now. In the next video, I'm already gonna have this set up, the drop down list inside here, but it's up to you to go ahead and do this yourself, and then we'll continue on into the next video. And please try to just do this yourself and don't just like look at my code in the next video, because in the next video I'm going to be doing a different topic. And so it should be relatively simple a bit, but you just have to be careful with your double quotes, your single quotes, once you paste in the new code here. So if you take a look at it, this is what we don't need anymore because it's just a type text. It's a text box, and we want to use select box instead. So this is the code that you need to get rid of, and you need to paste in the code that you need. But be careful when you're pasting it in. That could be the headache part, but just be careful. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and it's not that long.